One of the common things I hear from people planning for retirement is that delaying Social Security provides you a guaranteed rate of return. People look at, say, taking Social Security at their full retirement age versus delaying, and you do get an 8% increase each year up to 70. So they assume this is a guaranteed 8% return. But that is wrong. It does not take into account the fact that you've got years where you're not receiving Social Security. And you need to take into account the opportunity cost of not receiving that money and figure out what the time value of money is on the difference. And it's amazing to me how many people make this mistake. I see a lot of professionals, I see a lot of financial planners, other financial advisors not taking into this account. In fact, Barron's just had an article the other week where the author said, there's a clear payoff to delaying as long as possible with financial benefits that are better than any annuity you could buy on the market. Again, that is just not true. So what I want to do for you today is run through the internal rate of return on delaying Social Security. We're going to compare taking Social Security early at 62 and see how that stacks up to a full retirement age of 67. And we'll look at the internal rate of return over different expected longevities. And then we'll do the same thing comparing full retirement age of 67 to delaying to 70, the maximum. My name is Scott Caulfield. I'm a CPA and a CFA charter holder, and I'm the founder of Sophos Wealth Management. So first thing I want to show you is the chart of taking early at 62 versus delaying till full retirement age at 67. Now, you've got 5 years of income you're going to receive if you take it at 62. So as a result, delaying to full retirement age has a deeply negative return at the beginning of kind of the analysis period. So it's not until you achieve age 78 that the internal rate of return on waiting to full retirement age turns positive. So if you've got health issues, you might lean towards taking it earlier. Now, it does turn positive about 78, and as you can see, we'll switch to a different chart here, which kind of better shows the rate of return. So when you get into kind of your mid 80s, that's when this internal rate of return becomes quite a bit more attractive. So you get to your mid 80s, we're talking about a 4.5%. If you get into your 90s, we're getting up to a 6% return. Gets up to 6.7% by the time you're 100. Now, that's a real rate of return. So that's actually a pretty darn good rate of return if you have a long expected longevity. Now, we'll also kind of look at what is it at 67 versus 70. Same thing, it's going to be deeply negative at first. Once you hit age 82 in this case, that's when we go positive with the rate of return. As you can see, once again, it's kind of those, in this case, it's mid to late 80s where, okay, this becomes more attractive. And if we kind of just look at the table on all these, you can see you hit about 90, we're talking about a 4.8% real return. Now that's a good return. Get into, up to 100, it's about a 6.4% return. So, it does become more and more interesting the longer your expected longevity. Now, this number in and of itself is not, the end all be all. You're going to want to consider spousal benefits, survivor benefits. Are there different tax implications? Oftentimes if you delay your Social Security but are retired, you've got some opportunity to realize capital gains at low tax rates or tax-free, or to do Roth conversions. So there's opportunities. There's tons of other things to consider. Do you want to have a great quality of life? Are you going to have a better retirement earlier? Would you want to front load some of that? Tons of other considerations. But what I encourage you to do is just don't oversimplify things, and certainly don't just assume that it's an 8% return. It is never an 8% return. Again, this is because you have foregone income. So even if you live to 200 years old, it's still not exactly an 8% internal rate of return on delayed. Hopefully this gives you some useful information as you kind of consider your Social Security claiming strategy. Appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my website if you want any more information. Thanks a lot.